Bullies slapped a disabled girl in a diner. An hour later, bikers walked in. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know which city you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a story. Now, sit back and enjoy. The morning sun touched the shiny metal corners of Benny's Diner, a small place in the quiet town of Millstone Valley. It smelled like fresh pancakes and maple syrup, and people came here to feel happy and full. At a corner booth by the window sat a girl named Lena. She was in a wheelchair, her pancakes in front of her, untouched. She looked calm, but her hands shook, her dark hair fell across her face as she tried to focus on her food. At the next booth were 3 teenage boys. They weren't there to eat. They were watching Lena, whispering and laughing. Then, one of them did something horrible. He smacked her plate off the table. The pancakes hit the floor, syrup spreading like a mess of shame. Another boy shoved her wheelchair back, making her gasp. They all laughed louder. The whole diner froze. Cups stopped clinking, forks stopped moving. The laughter of the boys felt louder than anything else. Lena's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. She just looked down, trying not to show how hurt she was. The waitress stood still, holding a tray of coffee. A man near the door looked away. People shook their heads but stayed in their seats. No one said a word. Lena leaned over slowly, trying to pick up the broken pieces of her breakfast with shaky hands. Her face was red, not from anger, from shame. Then, someone knelt beside her. It was an old man with gray hair and kind eyes. He picked up her plate and placed it back on the table. "Don't mind them," he said quietly. His voice was soft, but his eyes glanced nervously at the boys. That small moment, that tiny act of kindness, meant everything. But Lena still felt broken. She stayed quiet. Her food was ruined, her morning ruined, and her heart heavy. The boys kept talking loudly, proud of what they did. Lena wished she could disappear. She wished someone had said something. She wondered why people were so quiet when someone was being hurt right in front of them. The smell of pancakes was still in the air, but the warmth of the diner was gone. An hour passed. Lena sat still at the booth in Benny's Diner staring out the window. Her plate stayed in front of her, cold and untouched. The boys who had hurt her were still there, laughing, bragging, acting like nothing had happened. The other people in the diner went back to eating, but the silence between bites told the truth. They were afraid of the boys. Then it happened. A deep, rumbling sound rolled through the street outside. At first, it was quiet, like faraway thunder. Then it grew louder. Everyone in the diner looked up. Motorcycles, a long row of shiny bikes came into the parking lot, engines growling, sunlight bounced off chrome. The bikes parked in a perfect line, one after another, like soldiers arriving for battle. The bullies looked up, confused. Their laughter stopped. People inside whispered. The black leather jackets had a patch on the back, the Iron Hounds. Everyone in Millstone Valley had heard of them. A biker club. Tough men. No fear. No games. The diner went silent as the front door opened. A man stepped in first, tall, wide shoulders, a thick beard, and eyes like steel. Behind him came more men, all quiet, all watching. They didn't need to say anything. Their presence was enough, and Lena sat up straighter, unsure of what was happening. Her heart beat faster, not with fear, but with curiosity. She had never seen anything like this. The leader of the bikers scanned the room. His eyes stopped on the 3 boys. They froze. Their faces turned pale. Then he looked at Lena. Something in his face changed. He didn't need to ask what had happened. He saw the broken plate, the empty look in her eyes, and the way the boys avoided her now. He walked over slowly and knelt beside her, just like the old man did before. He said nothing at first. He just looked at her, and Lena finally felt something she hadn't felt all day: safe. The other bikers stood behind him, quiet but strong. The leader turned his head toward the bullies. They wouldn't look at him. They wouldn't look at Lena either. One of them stood up. Then the next. Then the last. They walked out quickly, heads down, past the line of motorcycles waiting outside. The door of Benny's Diner slowly closed behind the 3 boys. Outside, the bikes stood like a wall, their riders watching silently as the bullies hurried away. It wasn't just fear on their faces, it was shame. The kind that doesn't go away easily. Inside, the diner was still quiet. Everyone had seen what happened. Nobody clapped. Nobody cheered, but the air felt different now, like something had been set right. The tall biker turned back to Lena. He gave her a small smile, not the fake kind people use when they don't know what to say, but one that said, "I see you." He called over the waitress with a wave of his hand. "Bring her anything she wants," he said. His voice was low and calm, but full of strength. "Pancakes, pie, milkshakes, everything on the menu if she wants it." The waitress nodded quickly. She looked at Lena, her eyes soft now, not full of pity like before. "Coming right up, sweetie," she said with a smile. The biker leaned down and spoke to Lena quietly. "You're stronger than any of those kids. Don't let them make you think otherwise." Lena didn't know what to say. Her throat felt tight, her eyes filled with tears again, but these were different. These weren't tears of pain or embarrassment. They were tears of something else, tears of hope. Then the man did something no one expected. He stood up, took off his leather vest, and gently placed it over Lena's shoulders. The vest was heavy, a little too big, and smelled like leather and wind. It had the Iron Hound's patch on the back. "Your family now," he said. Lena looked up at him, eyes wide, her lips parted like she wanted to speak, but no words came out. She didn't need to say anything. He already understood. Then other bikers nodded in silent agreement. The waitress came back with a fresh plate of pancakes, a strawberry milkshake, and a big slice of warm apple pie. She set it down in front of Lena and gave her a quick hug. "No one's ever going to make you feel invisible in here again," she whispered. For the first time in a long time, Lena smiled. The warmth returned to Benny's diner. It wasn't the sunlight or the smell of syrup, it was something deeper. Lena sat in her booth, the biker vest still wrapped around her shoulders like a blanket of protection. The food in front of her was fresh and full of color: golden pancakes, a creamy milkshake, and a slice of pie that smelled like cinnamon. But more than that, Lena felt full inside. Not from food, from something she thought she had lost. Respect, belonging, and strength. Around her, people in the diner started to move again. Some whispered, some smiled. A few clapped quietly. Not for the bikers, for her. They had all seen what happened: the cruelty, the silence, and finally, the courage. The leader of the Iron Hounds, the man who gave Lena his vest, walked back to the door. Before stepping out, he looked over his shoulder and gave her a small nod. "Like a promise. We've got your back." One by one, the bikers followed him out. Their boots echoed softly on the floor. The bell on the door jingled as they left. Soon, the sound of their engines filled the street again. A deep roar, powerful, unapologetic. And just like that, they were gone, but everything had changed. Lena sat quietly for a moment, just breathing. The waitress refilled her water and smiled. A couple at another table gave her a thumbs up. A little boy waved at her from across the diner. People saw her now, not as a girl in a wheelchair, but as someone who stood tall even when sitting down. She picked up her fork and took a bite of the pancakes. Warm. Sweet. Safe. Outside the window, life in Millstone Valley moved on, but Lena didn't feel small anymore. She didn't feel broken, she felt proud. She knew the world still had bullies. It still had people who stayed silent when they should speak, but it also had people like Roar and the Iron Hounds, people who weren't afraid to stand up. She thought of what they did for her, strangers who walked in at just the right moment, and rewrote her story. Lena didn't just survive that morning. She changed, and she would never forget it. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications, so you'll be the first to catch more amazing stories when they drop. I truly appreciate your support. I don't take it for granted. See you in the next video. Bye for now.